Начали кричать, избивать меня по ребрам.
Imagine this. Deep within a snow-covered, desolate tundra, at exactly 1 o'clock a.m., you are locked inside a prison cell. Outside, the icy winds howl like a ghostly whistle, and from afar, the metallic thud of iron doors echoes through the darkness. The atmosphere feels eerie, almost supernatural. Yes, in the bone-freezing cold of Russia's remotest frontiers, there are prisons so terrifying that they put haunted fortresses to shame, places built on brutal, horrifying realities. Names like Black Dolphin, Polar Wolf, Polar Owl, and Fire Island may sound dramatic, but they are as real as they are tragic. For most of the year, these fortress-like prisons are buried in endless darkness and paralyzing cold. In winter, temperatures drop to minus 50 degrees Celsius, so cold that a person's breath turns to ice in seconds. Once these prisons swallow someone, the outside world forgets their name. Those rare inmates who are fortunate enough to be released later recount the unspeakable torments they faced, how they were forced to stand in the freezing cold for hours, punished with buckets of icy water for the slightest movement. Some were left in solitary cells so long that their minds broke completely. The punishments here are as cruel as they are dehumanizing. And the prisoners themselves? Many are monsters, murderers, cannibals, and sadists, men locked away in these remote, nightmarish dungeons because no other place on Earth could contain them. Let's uncover why Russia's prisons are among the most feared in the world, and why its inmates are infamous as some of the deadliest criminals alive. The Black Dolphin Prison. Near the Kazakhstan border lies Russia's Black Dolphin Prison, one of the nation's oldest and most secure facilities. Around 700 of Russia's most dangerous criminals are held here: murderers, terrorists, and even cannibals. When new inmates arrive, they are blindfolded, so they cannot memorize the prison's layout. They are then forced to walk bent at the waist, head down, with their hands cuffed behind their backs, while a guard lifts their arms painfully high, an inhumane posture designed to break their spirit from the very first step. Prisoners here are made to stand for 16 hours a day. Sitting, lying down, or even leaning against a wall is strictly forbidden. Guards patrol constantly to ensure no one rests, not even for a moment. For exercise, prisoners get just 90 minutes a day in a cage-like yard. Even then, guards conduct set-in searches to keep them off balance. Why such brutality? Because the true horror of Black Dolphin lies in the inmates themselves. Take Vladimir Nikolaev, a convicted cannibal. He murdered his victims, chopped their bodies up, cooked their flesh, and ate it. Shockingly, he even mixed human meat with his family's meals, and at times sold it in local markets. For such monsters, prisons like Black Dolphin are the only fitting hell on Earth. The Polar Wolf Prison, IK3. Further north, near the Arctic Circle, stands the notorious Polar Wolf Prison. Officially named IK3, its remote location and merciless environment earned it this chilling nickname. Here, sunlight is almost absent for most of the year, and in winter, temperatures plummet to minus 40 degrees Celsius and below. Punishment often means standing motionless outdoors for 30 to 40 minutes in nothing but thin clothing. If a prisoner dares move, guards drench them in freezing water. Even in summer, there is no relief. The prison yard swarms with mosquitoes and flies, but swatting them is forbidden. Moving your hand means punishment. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny was infamously sent here. He spent 283 days in solitary confinement, nearly 10 months of complete isolation. He later wrote how the freezing cells robbed him of sleep, how guards would scream, play loud music at night, and punish him for the smallest infractions. In February 2024, Navalny died within these very walls, sealing Polar Wolf's reputation as a graveyard for both body and spirit. Here, mistrust is deliberately cultivated. Prisoners are pitted against one another, never able to form bonds. Many who leave carry lifelong trauma. The Polar Owl Prison. Near the Harp region stands another dreaded prison, Polar Owl. Reserved for lifers guilty of Russia's worst crimes, it is one of the country's 7 special regime prisons. Here, prisoners can go years without seeing sunlight, locked in cells buried in ice. The cells are so cold that inmates call them coffins for the soul. There are no heaters. In some cruel cases, guards mock prisoners by painting pictures of heaters on the walls. Food is scarce and of poor quality. Filth is everywhere, and beatings are routine. Former prisoners recount horror stories, being deliberately frozen, electrocuted, brutally beaten, and even sexually assaulted. The sole purpose? To shatter both the body and the willpower of every inmate. Many never recover, even after release. Among its residents are serial killers and terrorists, men counting down their final days in a frozen hell. Fire Island Prison, Russia's Alcatraz. Finally, we reach Fire Island, often dubbed Russia's Alcatraz. Located on a small island in Lake Valakata, its high stone walls, barbed wire, and armed guards make escape unthinkable. In winter, when the lake freezes over, security grows even tighter. Inside, around 200 convicts live in overcrowded cells. 3 to 4 men crammed into spaces built for 2. Their toilet? A single bucket. The stench never leaves. Human rights groups have condemned Fire Island repeatedly, calling it a living hell rather than a correctional facility. Among its inmates is Andrei Chikatilo's contemporary, Andrei Beliva, a sadistic serial killer. Between 1996 and 2000, he murdered at least 14 people, including a young waitress he stabbed over 100 times. After years on the run, he was caught in 2000 and is now locked away here forever. Imagine spending every night knowing a man like him is just meters away. For many innocent inmates wrongly imprisoned, this is the true horror of Fire Island. Conclusion. From Black Dolphin to Polar Wolf, from Polar Owl to Fire Island, Russia's prisons are designed not just to punish, but to erase humanity itself. They are fortresses of ice and despair, where survival is uncertain and freedom is nothing but a forgotten dream.